Vive la République! Vive la France!
France is finally free. Charles de Gaulle, the man who would later stand firm against America and Britain, walks through the streets of Paris, greeted by a liberated nation. His towering presence inspires hope, and the people look to him as the one who will rebuild a shattered France and restore its greatness.
Les armées de la France, avec l'appui et le concours de la France tout entière, c'est-à-dire.
But for de Gaulle, liberation was not enough. He distrusted Britain's loyalty to Europe and feared American dominance would reduce France to a mere follower. Determined to protect his country's sovereignty, he withdrew France from NATO's military command, blocked Britain's entry into the European Economic Community, and built an independent nuclear arsenal. Bold, defiant, and unapologetically French, this is the story of Charles de Gaulle, a leader who reshaped France's destiny and dared to say no to the world's superpowers. Imagine a man stepping into the chaos of World War II with no political clout, barely any recognition, and a handful of loyal volunteers. Charles de Gaulle wasn't a household name in France or Britain, far from it. Yet, armed with an unshakable belief in his mission and an ironclad devotion to his country, de Gaulle's beginnings as a wartime leader were anything but smooth. To the left, he was a devout Catholic and a career military man. To the right, he was a rebel daring to defy Marshal Pétain, a national icon. Yet, his broadcasts from London and the heroic actions of the Free French forces began to turn the tide, earning him the respect of resistance groups and eventually the world stage.
Moi, Général de Gaulle, j'entreprends ici, en Angleterre, cette tâche nationale.
But this was no easy alliance. Even as de Gaulle maneuvered through political tensions in Britain, his move to Algiers in 1943 proved his ability to outmaneuver rivals like General Giraud, cementing his role as a formidable leader. De Gaulle's return to Paris in 1944 marked a turning point. From heading provisional governments to resigning in frustration with the fractured politics of post-war France, he proved time and again that he was a man unwilling to compromise on his vision for a united and powerful nation. In 1955, Charles de Gaulle stepped away from public life, retreating to his home. Frustrated by the infighting and instability of the political system, he chose to disappear from the political spotlight. For several years, de Gaulle made no public appearances and distanced himself from the chaos of the Fourth Republic. During this time, he focused on writing his memoirs The Call to Honor, Unity, and Salvation. These works captured his vision for France and kept his ideas alive, even as he remained in the background. Meanwhile, the Fourth Republic faced growing challenges, its fractured coalitions struggling to provide stable leadership. In 1958, a national crisis brought de Gaulle back into the picture. His years of silence had not diminished his influence, but instead positioned him as the leader France needed to restore order and direction. As the Fourth Republic teetered on the brink of collapse due to the Algerian War, the French people and political elites turned to de Gaulle, hoping he could steer the nation out of its chaos. De Gaulle was granted full powers to form a new government. In return, he re-established the Fifth Republic and its presidential system, providing a strong executive to counterbalance the instability that had plagued France. This turning point marked the beginning of his return to politics and the start of a new chapter for France under his leadership. De Gaulle's return to power in 1958 marked a decisive shift in France's foreign policy. Determined to strengthen the country's independence, he distanced France from reliance on the United States and the United Kingdom, promoting greater national sovereignty. In 1964, he recognized the People's Republic of China, breaking with the Western Bloc and opening the door to stronger relations with emerging powers. In 1966, he withdrew France from NATO's integrated military command, arguing that American dominance constrained French sovereignty. That same year, he advanced the development of France's independent nuclear deterrent, the Force de Frappe, reinforcing the nation's strategic autonomy. By the late 1960s, de Gaulle also challenged US economic dominance, criticizing the dollar's role as the world's reserve currency and advocating for a return to the gold standard. Through these actions, Charles de Gaulle reshaped France's global standing. His bold, often controversial decisions reflected a singular vision: a France that was independent, sovereign, and capable of shaping its own destiny.